Hey viewers, welcome to another episode of the Renewalism Show. Good to have you here today evening. And what's fantastic is that today my guest on the show is actually the first person who reviewed this book for me on Amazon. I'm so thrilled to have him here. Not only because we love reviews, write yours, also because this gentleman is he's a pediatric surgeon. He is also the administrative head of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Jodhpur. He's not only an extremely eminent doctor, he also understands the current pressures from an administrative point of view of a hospital no less than AIMS, which is run by the government. And in spite of all of that, Dr. Arvind Sinha has got his outpatient department started this week in Jodhpur. Very creditable, extremely well managed. Now, what does that all have to do with renewalism, you might wonder? So let me just share with you a couple of minutes on what is renewalism if you're here on the show for the first time. This is about this book which I've written, which is about the renewal of human consciousness. It's about how we can play a major role in saving the planet just by changing the way we do certain things. Now, our lifestyle has changed in a very big way in the last couple of months. We have started looking at life without malls and movies. We've started looking at minimalistic shopping. We've started looking at no cars, telecommuting, and we've seen a lot of positive benefits, right from personal individual relationship levels to stress levels to the levels of pollution in the air and the water. So there is something about renewing our habits that can change things for us, that can actually save the planet. And there is a central character in this book called Guru Pranachandra, who actually kind of dictated this book to me in December before the coronavirus came in. And when I was editing, that's when we found that we have adopted these kind of habits which are helping. So I thought I'd bring out this book right now before we regress and relapse into our old ways. Read the book. It's available on renewalism.com, which I hope will be a big movement one day, bigger than veganism, as it says on this scroll, because veganism, after all, is a lifestyle change, and so is this. But this one is going to see how we change at a mind, body, spirit level, how we change our relationships with others and with the environment, with the planet, and how we change systems. And one of the systems, when you're talking about systems, you're talking about big systems, like the education system, like the nutrition, and like medicine. So that's why Dr. Arvind Sinha is a very special guest today, because I love to talk to him about medicine and about whether we really have all the answers. So without further ado, let me bring him on stream. And every day we are discussing one habit. Today is the habit of, there we are. Hi.
Hi.
So, Dr. Nath, good to see you there. So this is the book, guys, and you can pick it up a paperback from Amazon. That site that you see on the screen, renewalism.com, has access to Amazon worldwide. This habit we're discussing today is reduce dependence on medicines and doctors. Dr. Sinha, how does it feel to be at the end of that line? I had the courage of asking you this because I was sure you read that book with that lovely review you got. But reduce dependence on doctors, really?
Yes, absolutely. I think Western medicine, if you look at it holistically, it has absolutely singular role in treating many of the diseases. It is absolutely paramount, let's say, for treating infections, for any trauma,
Right.
emergency, prevention of disease like vaccines, and hygiene and sanitation also has been promoted by medicine. But it does not have all the answers. There are many conditions which it only has only partial answers. It can maybe prevent complication but not treat them, like certain chronic diseases like hypertension, diabetes, those kind of diseases. And it also lacks focus by itself on, let's say, fitness and other motivational stuff. So that actually makes you a wellness kind of thing. It basically does not focus that much on. So I would tend to agree. Yes, Western medicine by itself, you should rely uh, as as a last resort. You should take matters in your hand, and I think health. Everyone should focus on their own health and should not wait for any pill to make them healthy. Right.
Wow, that comes as such a relief to me personally, because I personally a big fan of wellness, and I run the inner power programs for reducing stress and getting people to learn how to go about taking self-regulation into making it something that they can do themselves. Now, that brings me to a point where Oriental methods of medicine, like the Indian methods, for example, Ayurveda and stuff, and yoga. Also, in China, we have Qigong and traditional Chinese medicine. All of these actually focused on wellness. So there was a big movement in India and the Orient on not falling sick at all. How did we lose that? Can you just trace that back for us a little, so that viewers get to understand that we have had the answers and we just need to re-explore them and get some more confidence that yeah, they were really the answers.
Right. I think if you look at medicine itself uh, and the science which is used by Western medicine, it basically sees a problem and then tries to solve it. Right. That's how it goes. So it basically starts with the disease and then tries to work out the solutions for those diseases. Right. And I think in the modern age, uh, everyone was expected to do their bit being healthy. So that was never the focus of attention for any scientific researcher or a medical specialist, because you were expected to. That was beyond the purview of a hospital, let's say. So that was before
Right.
you came to a hospital. So those kind of thing. So gradually, I think because of lack of focus, those things have been actually pushed to the background as such, I think.
Awesome. So, actually, the objective of the medical professional is to treat people who have to come to the hospital, but it's for the people to know that they don't need to visit, which is very interesting in these times, because with WhatsApp being the main medium of everybody's knowledge about coronavirus, there are lots of views that are coming in. How would you say, from the point of view of being MS of AIMS, uh, what what is the stage at which a person must look at getting out of the self isolation and coming into a hospital if they have contracted those symptoms that we are all aware of?
Okay. So for coronavirus symptoms, right?
Yeah.
So I think the government of India guidelines generally say that if you have had contact with a person or are having symptoms of ILI or influenza-like illness, you should generally get yourself tested, right? So that is
Right.
one where you would need to come out and get yourself tested. But once you have the positive report, then if you're not too symptomatic, then there is a possibility that you can go into what is known as a home isolation, where you confine yourself to one room in the house, not meet anyone, and try to avoid contact with the outside world for period of about 10 days, right, since the onset of symptoms. But
10 days. All right.
so when would you want to go to the hospital after you've been diagnosed is when, because one of the problems with coronavirus is that it affects the lungs, and the uh, coughing and respiratory distress may occur. So if you start having excessive coughing or have excessive fever or saturation, difficulty in breathing itself starts becoming a prominent symptom, then you should definitely go to
Mhm.
the hospital, get yourself admitted or checked up, whether you require admission or not. So So breathing difficulty, I
And
think,
in
is
that
one.
case, also, sorry, on that subject, if you have a breathing difficulty, it wouldn't be advisable to get an oxygen cylinder at home.
No, not really. Not really, because the it's almost like a cliff. People fall off the cliff very fast, the symptoms. So if you have breathing difficulties, I think you have to go to the hospital and get yourself admitted.
Good to know. Good to know. So that's coming from the direct from source. But this book comes at a time when we are going to be lifting ourselves out of the lockdowns in the next few months. We hope, and there is a great chance that people will regress to their old habits, not only in the context of wellness or the lack thereof, but in every other way. And it is the hope that people would see that there are just 30 habits that are listed here which can actually help people stay the course and get self-regulated. How would you say, doctor, that uh, people can adopt habits more easily? uh, that's one big concern people have, that can I make a switch over, can I for example start focusing more on breathing management for stress rather than popping a pill. So it's so easy to pop a pill for stress, but I tell you, if you just breathe 30 seconds every couple of hours, 7 8 times a day, you are going to relieve your stress. But that's me saying that. how, how would you say that people could pick up a habit of that sort?
Uh, what I generally follow is, first thing I require for taking up any habit is that you have to have the knowledge behind it, and you have to have the conviction that yes, this is of benefit to us. Second process that I use is basically to tell someone that I am trying to do that. That creates peer pressure for me. I've told my
Hmm.
wife, I've told my children that this is what now I'll be going for the doing for the next 15, 20, 25 days for the foreseeable future. So that kind of creates a peer pressure for myself, and then basically follow it through. And basically, I have a board where I write down every day what I need to do. So I put it down to pen and paper. Okay, this is what I have started. And the science is there that if you follow a habit for, let's say, 15 to 20 days, it becomes natural. You stop requiring your willpower to do that thing. It becomes almost at this final level. You keep doing it. So yes, definitely, those are the practices I follow to get the habit. But first is obviously having the knowledge and the belief that whatever new habit you're inculcating is of benefit to everyone.
Awesome, awesome. So sticking with this habit of let's say breathing 30 seconds just to change your vibrations, get to peace and calm, is something that can be practiced within 30 seconds by anybody. But my concern is that there is a certain comfort level and a certain there is a fallback on that pill. The pill is supposed to do the job. If it doesn't do the job, the pill is can be blamed. If I don't breathe for 30 seconds, I'm to be blamed. I'd have to take that responsibility. So can we get people off pills? I mean, pills for hypochondria, pills for simple stress solutions and stuff like that.
Yes, absolutely. True, true, true. I think
And
stress.
would the medical fraternity ever advocate something like that?
No, no, absolutely. I think science is there. Science is there. That, breathing, breathing, and mindfulness have tremendous benefits with regards to stress levels. And long-term meditators, in fact, have changes in their thinking pattern, the EEG waves. So those are known science. And I think it's been said that even one conscious breath a day can change the amount of stress that you're feeling. So I think breath work is one of the very important things with regards to stress control. If you are ever try to see how you're breathing whenever you are anxious or stressed out, you'll realize if you just take a moment to see your breathing pattern, you will we will always realize, yes, you're breathing very shallow and the chest is not expanding that much. And if you take a few moments just to breathe freely, I think the stress levels tremendously go down with even one conscious breath, as I said. So yes, those things are definitely important and should be incorporated. It's one of the things that you will have till you are living, till you are alive. That ability to breathe is something which each one of us will have till you are alive. So it's should not let you down.
Thank you. Thank you so much for endorsing that. That means a lot. Viewers, you heard it from him. We have some questions from viewers. Or psychosomatic disorders are the main contributor of modern day diseases, Minu says. I just put it up for you. Stress above all other factors impacts our health. The glowing malice of mental health issues is a serious factor. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Mental health. You mentioned that lifestyle disorders are out of the purview of hospitals. You ought not to be there. But yes, for infections, for accidents, for trauma, yes. But what about mental psychological disorders? Are they in the purview of sickness or wellness?
Mm, it basically it's again medicine basically focuses on diseases, so you will have anxiety attack and those kind of anxiety, depression, uh, bipolar disorders. Those are diagnoses which have very established treatment available in modern medicine, but stress as such is a lesser defined entity in modern medicine. But I think every one of us in the current day and age realizes that yes, stress is affecting us day in, day out. We are getting distracted. We are not able to focus on one thing at a time. And we are not, whenever, even when we are talking to people, we are not able to maintain our attention for as long as we would want that attention to remain on the person who's talking to us. So stress is definitely something which is on the fringes of modern medicine, and but it is till it becomes a diagnosis as such, it basically remains on the fringes, and we don't actively address stress as such. But yes,
Right.
some research is going on stress also.
Right. Now, when it comes to systemic renewal, changing systems around, relooking, reframing, rethinking the way it's working, this industry, like you said, it took that shift when Western medicine came in. And in fact, I'll share with viewers a story about how it used to be. About 2000 years ago in China, the noble families used to have doctors, the family doctors, and they used to pay them on a monthly basis, a retainer, to make sure that nobody in the family fell sick. And the doctor would ensure that they had the right diet, they had the right exercise, they had the right movements, and everything matched elements and all that. And should anybody have fallen sick, the day the person fell sick till the day he recovered, the doctor was not paid. So it's gone 180 degrees from there. Now it's only when you fall sick till you recover that you keep paying the doctor. And that sort of becomes a vicious circle sometimes. But we'll not get into that part. My question was, if we are to change the system, if we are to renew it and help people understand the self reliance and the importance of food as a medicine, and also exercise and all the good things you talked about, what will the medical fraternity do about it? As an insider of the fraternity, how do you see you and your peers, your colleagues, advising people or making that change, saying that they're not going to people unless they have had accidents or something like that? I don't know. How does one get making that change and going back to 180 degrees?
Right. So I think more I realize, when you're younger, you have bad habits, bad eating habits, lack of physical exercise. But what I'm realizing as I am growing older is that people who have a lifetime of good habits generally tend to be better. better place than people who have had bad habits in their youth, where the effects are not that visible, not obvious, but it catches up in later life. So it's not a guarantee that you will be absolutely without illness, but you definitely improve your odds by having great habits. I think if you tackle your fitness, your mental fitness also, and the kind of diet you're taking, I think all three will have a tremendous impact on your health in later life. And if you do an in excess, it can affect you even in your youth also.
Wow. So, in effect, what I hear you say is that don't look at the renewal happening from the medical community. The renewal has to happen of the way that you lead your life and your habits.
True,
Um,
true.
that's huge. I mean, coming from you, it's really huge because, guys, the renewal of the system. There's nothing wrong with the medical system. It's what's wrong is the way that we are depending on it. The way that we are deciding that anything, a little ache, a little problem, and you pop a pill and that's the solution. It's not the solution. You're taking in more chemical and you have no idea what that's doing to you. You rather regulate your habits, your diet, your exercise, and read this book. It's got solutions to all those things, and you would not need to see a doctor. So I think we agree there that this is not medicine, and Western medicine is not the first recourse; it is the last recourse, and that's what you want to bring into your lives. Are we in agreement, Doctor? There?
Yes, I mean, obviously, if you have an accident, that will be the first
No,
recourse for everyone. But yes, uh, definitely prevention is better than cure. So if you can prevent it by leading a healthy lifestyle, have less stress, have breathing exercises, and eat healthy, I think you will go a long way in preventing any of the diseases of lifestyle diseases that occur in people with time.
awesome, awesome. Then there is another field of healing which works with energy, which a lot more was known about in ancient times, and lesser is known now. But I would urge viewers to get to understand energy healing. There are various modalities which would not need a scientific corroboration because science doesn't understand energy at that level yet. But your own experience with it would have a lot of effect on your own understanding. Like Dr. Sinha said, that to create any habit, he needs to experience it and believe it himself. And the same goes for energy healing. So these are the modalities available, other than putting things in your mouth and hoping for things to get better. So that said, I see we're on the top of 20 minutes. I would like you to make a note that we have this show with a new habit every day at 9 p.m. on the same page. Subscribe to the page below, and so that you keep getting notifications. I mean, subscribe to the video so that you keep getting notifications from the channel. And tomorrow we'll be joined on a very interesting discussion again to do with stress because I believe that a lot of stress comes out because people lack their purpose. When you understand what your purpose is, your stress levels immediately go down. So we're going to talk about how to organize your purpose, how to find it, what is it, with a gentleman all the way in the US. He's a best-selling author himself, and he's a marketing whiz, Neil Robert. So I look forward to you participating in that discussion. Meanwhile, hop across over to renewalism.com, pick up the book, and start the good habits. And that said, Dr. Sinha, would you like to leave our viewers with something that they can chew over as we say goodbye?
I
Some
think
last words?
during times of Corona and COVID, I think it's important to tell people that yes, go and meet your own family members, create human connections, and try to be as physical and lead a healthy life and stay safe.
Awesome, awesome. We've got some very, very powerful advice today. Thank you so very much. And we're going to sign off on that one. Thank you. Have a great evening. Thanks, Dr. Sinha.